said he's just a friend.
3, 2, 1. Welcome everyone back to a brand new edition of Getting Color right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. And I am Virtue, being joined by the man himself, full-blooded Italian, the Mama Luke, Big Vito Lagrasso. What's up?
How's everybody doing? It's the BIGV from the LOG. We are here live, baby, live with Getting Color, my favorite show, along with my co-host with the most, Mr. Virtue. Mr. Virtue, you are looking dapper. You have been keeping up. You are looking prime time. I am very proud of you. You are really doing a great job. A great job.
Thank you. I went to the barber again yesterday. I've been going like every 3 to 4 weeks and letting him keep it all up to par for me.
Bro, you making the dollars, okay? I think you should go every 2 weeks. Really keep it up snap. No, really,
Well,
seriously.
It's better than every 3 or 4 months like I used to.
No, bro. Just listen to the man himself. Go maintain every 2 weeks. You'll feel better. You look better. You look like you've been in the gym and you look jacked.
I'm getting there. If we do some of these indie shows again, I got to take my manager bump, so I got to get ready for this.
Am I booked?
Well, I'm waiting for me to get booked, and then you get booked. So
all right, so that works.
It's slowly picking up.
You know, hey, now
yeah.
I know we always have this thing going on, but just let the viewers know out there that it is not you, it is not me. It is Mr. Whip, Aaron Rip, who was supposed to go live, baby, live tonight. And we had it all arranged for the no DQ people to have me come in tonight. But Aaron Rip backed out because
he had 18 straight days of live podcasting for, leading into WrestleMania and everything that happened after. And right. He was kind of wanting to keep his streak alive because if he did something today, he does something every night now because Raw's on Monday, NXT, Dynamite, whatever's on Thursday night. The review, duh.
Right.
And then Friday, he does SmackDown. So he was looking to keep his streak alive. And that's why I thought it was a prime opportunity to get you and me and him all together on a no DQ review reunion. And guess what? It's you and me doing it on just your channel again this week.
I just wanted to put it out there for the people who are watching in no DQ. This is not I. This is not Virtue. This is the new owner, Caitlin Aubrey. That's who's the one who's running it. She's running the controls. And I'm sorry, guys, but I've tried to get back on no DQ several times to work out a very monstrous, lucrative deal. But it just seems that, I'm in love. I have to go in nature. I have to love my cats.
Is he going to take on her last name, you think, when they get married?
Listen, if his last name is Aubrey, oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, Vito, that's always great to crack the Aaron Whip rift. The Aaron Rift whip. We could say that
Aaron Rift whip.
Ways. Dude, that'd be a great T-shirt, by the way. But we have wrestling to catch up on, wrestling chatter. I know when we did our show last Sunday, we kind of talked about night 1 of WrestleMania, but
right.
Night 2 hadn't happened yet. So let's go ahead and get our final thoughts here on WrestleMania Night 2 from last Sunday. The notables, Kevin Owens stunned Logan Paul, which, by the way, Jake Paul knocked out that MMA fighter, and some people say it was legit. Some people say it was rigged. But I don't know if you want to comment on that. But anyway, at WrestleMania.
I did see as soon as I saw that he won.
Yeah.
I went and I watched it. It looked like a clean shot.
And it was early. It was late in the first round or something like that.
Yeah, it was a first-round knockout. It was a late first-round knockout. And it looked like a clean shot.
Yep.
Whether he stayed down or not, I don't know.
Temple head.
Yeah. But it was a good shot. Now, where does he go from here? Because now he beat an MMA fighter. Now, is he really looking to fight
Tyson?
No.
Do it. He'd get killed. He'd get killed by Tyson, wouldn't he?
He's only 170 pounds, isn't he?
Yeah. He's skinnier.
So he would be like in the
Like
Roy
lanky.
Jones, Bernard Hopkins, what's his name? Golden Boy.
Mayweather?
De La Hoya.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he would be, if they decide to do a charity or do something like that. I don't think Mayweather would step up to 170 pounds.
Oh, that's a good point. But, I mean, while he talks, what about McGregor versus Logan Paul or Jake Paul?
McGregor is trying.
Well,
Well, hold on. You know what, guys? McGregor is trying to rectify his MMA career. I think if he's not concentrating on what is important right now. What is important is for him to go and win a title and do MMA and then close the book on it. If you want to do boxing, it's great. Can't do both.
Yeah.
There's only one Bo Jackson, and he was awesome.
Bo, imagine if he didn't get hurt.
No, I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Bo Jackson was awesome in football.
Yep.
He was a great baseball player. I mean, aside from if he didn't get hurt, but there's only those special athletes who could do both.
Yeah. Deion Sanders was okay, but he was definitely way better at football.
No, he was.
Yeah.
But Bo Jackson was the ultimate pro because he was an all-star and he was an all-pro at football.
So, yeah, I had to get that in there, Vito, about Jake Paul.
Can I mention UFC from last night?
Logan Paul. What's that?
UFC from last night.
I missed it. I didn't catch it. What else happened? What happened?
Do you remember a MMA fighter named Andre Arlovski? He was the Wolfgang.
I think I vaguely remember him, yes.
He won another heavyweight fight at 42 years old. And he was the co-main event on the card last night. Now, the fight before he lost, but now he came back and he won. So now everyone's asking, is he in line for a heavyweight title fight, being he is a former UFC champion? When this guy, if you people go and look him up, this guy was the man, jacked, racked, stacked, vicious. I'm talking, he was legit, right?
Yep.
Okay, he might not have the body like before because maybe he's not training, he's not taking his vitamins. But when you talk about legit guys, like Belfort at 19 years old was, unheard of. He was a god. But I mean, there's a guy to look out for to get a heavyweight title fight. Who knows if he could pull it off at 40 years old, at 42 years old.
We will definitely keep an eye on that. It's interesting seeing all these older people do the boxing and MMA fights. And if they can still go and they can get a payday, why not? So any thoughts on Mania Night 2, Vito? The big notable things that happened. Rhea Ripley won the Raw Women's title against Asuka, and Roman Reigns did defend successfully the Universal title against Edge and Bryan. Anything you'd like to add from your thoughts, final thoughts from Mania Night 2?
I got to say, well, The Fiend and Randy Orton were on night 1 or 2.
That was night 1, and I believe we did cover that last week.
I just want to say this. How many times can you bury somebody and beat them when they are probably the most over character you have in the WWE?
He must have pissed someone off, Vito.
He pissed in somebody's Cheerios. I'm telling you. Guys, when the day he came out and the whole arena was singing, "We got the whole world in our hands,"
Yep.
Came out with the Wyatt family.
That was against Cena, too.
That was a sign. Another sign was
Shield versus Wyatt's.
That, and then another one was Big Cass and Enzo. The night they were with Cena, and they tagged with Cena, and then they went to WrestleMania, and the Hardys came in and stole those titles.
Yep.
If those guys would have been champions, they never reached that pinnacle again.
They broke them up after that.
But the thing is, I'm trying to say is, when guys are at that point and they won't push them over the top, There's something holding people back. I don't know what it is. But Enzo and Kaz were the most entertaining people coming out. Were they the best wrestlers? Absolutely not. Were they the best entrants you ever seen? I could sit there and watch them all day.
Yep.
The Fiend, another one. When he had the Undertaker and he was with the he should have been the next Undertaker with the Wyatt family. Guys, they bury their talent. You look at the roster today. How many times can we see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? They just put Cesaro over Rollins, right? Where's that? You already know that's going to be a contender for either champion to eat up. They don't have anybody else, okay? Alexa Bliss, I think, is coming into her own as this own character. I would love to see the Fiends come up with another female. I said to myself, Big Vito in a dress coming up with blood and coming out of the floor in a Marilyn Monroe dress, right? Facing Alexa Bliss to be her, her end. This is what you're going to look like at the end of this, and make her retreat back into Alexa Bliss. Pretty interesting stuff.
Brilliant. Any thoughts on Ripley or Reigns?
Say that one more time.
Any thought on Ripley or Reigns? Ripley won the title against Asuka, and then Reigns retained, which I predicted, by the way.
Well, Reigns retained. They don't have anybody else. They honestly don't have nobody else. And he's the only one with representation with Heyman. So he's got to carry it.
That's right.
I mean, and I called the match. It didn't matter if it was Edge taking a pin or Daniel Bryan taking a pin. It was going to be Reigns going over. Now they're talking The Rock or Brock Lesnar. And they're talking about him losing to The Rock or Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I don't think The Rock is coming full-time back to wrestling.
I think Reigns will hold it for a while. So we'll see. But, I mean, it was what it was. A lot of people did not like night 2 as much as night 1, and that usually happens because, the bloom is off the rose at that point. So I don't know if this 2-night thing will work going forward. I would imagine they'll go back to normal once the pandemic's over and they can fill out a stadium of 80,000 plus people. So we will see. Now, Vito, the next night on Raw, Charlotte returned. So they did hold her out with whatever happened with Andrade getting released. We know the whole storyline with Lacey Evans got nixed because Lacey got pregnant, because Ric Flair was involved with that storyline. But they held Charlotte out of WrestleMania. No appearance either night, but she shows up on Raw, cuts a pretty good arrogant heel promo saying, I am the opportunity. This is my division. I'm going to be the 13-time women's champion. And at some point she's going to tie old dad because that's going to be drama. They are counting her NXT wins, by the way. So what's your thoughts on Charlotte here? A lot of people are upset because they think it's going to hold Rhea Ripley back and some of these newcomers.
Guys, payback is a bitch. And when you cause the office grief and your significant other causes drama, you pay the price. You look at Lana, she paid the price, didn't she? You looked at Maria Kanellis, she paid the price, didn't she?
Yep.
You look at Charlotte Flair, she paid the price. You look at Carmella with Big Cass, right? What has she done anything significant? She won the title, she lost the title.
And won the title, and then once she lost the title, she's been nothing.
That was it. She's just hanging on. But when you talk about you're with your significant other in the company, you look at the Fiend. He did dirty to his wife. He's with the announcer. It might have pissed some people off in the back.
That's a good point.
And not too many people remember that. And I'm not crapping on because I think Bray Wyatt is awesome. But when you have a preference in your life of where you want to be and who you want to be with, you shouldn't be held back by your job. Granted, it shouldn't be publicated. You should try to be on the down low. But when you publicize it, you know what I'm saying? It only causes drama. Now, what other couples are there? I know there's a couple couples in the
and during our main event, we're going to talk about some releases, and the Iconics were released, and Peyton Royce is dating Shawn Spears, who's in AEW, so that was interesting.
Guys, let me tell you something. The Iconics, okay, let's talk about the release. Let's get into that. The Iconics were entertaining. They were fun on a wrestling level. Talking wrestling. I'm not going to say they were a 10. I'm not going to say they were a 5. I'll say they were maybe a 6+, maybe a 7. Entertaining wise, they were an 8-9. Why they got separated like every other group, I don't know. But they were a good tag team. You could have put them on. You could have put them on Raw. They were on SmackDown forever. But could it be the Shawn Spears thing? I think so. Payback is a bitch.
Now, we will talk about more releases here just in a second. My last take on Charlotte, I like her back. I think that you always need that person that fans hate because they think they're overpushed. Charlotte is that person. She carries the Flair name. Now, I've been instructed to tell you by Noel Vito, your friend Mike from Goomba Sauce is in the chat. Anything you'd like to say?
Mike, how are you doing? I hope everything is good. Guys, if you got to do something with Goomba Sauce, Big Vito endorses this 150%. Anytime we have a get-together here at the house, it is Goomba Salsa, Goomba Sauce. This is the sauce that you take and you present to your friends and have the Sunday dinner. If you got to buy this sauce, guys, we'll throw up a link. But God damn it, it's Goomba Sauce all the way because I'm the BIGV from the LOG representing the Italians.
Is that red marinara sauce?
Say it again?
Is that red marinara sauce?
Bro, it's the best sauce. We'll talk afterwards. I'll definitely enlighten you. But guys, Goomba Sauce. I know Noel will do it. Mike, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. Everything is going good. Your sauce is wonderful. I can't wait for next Sunday. I got some special plans.
Now, I'm not going to go over all of the releases here, but here are the notables. So we talked about the Iconics.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to lump these two together and you give me your thoughts on them. Now released from WWE, Mojo Rawley and Bo Dallas.
Expendable. They didn't do nothing with them. They were hanger-oners. Bo Dallas mostly kept his job, I think, because of his brother and Mike Rotundo. But he recently posted, he was life after wrestling. Once you post something like that, it's like, hey, I don't need you, WWE, let me go. And he did. I mean, he had the Bo leave. He got a little bit of a run. I would have liked to seen him be with his brother, but it is such a thing. Mojo Riley, they tried. They did everything. You had no business in wrestling from the beginning. You're an awesome football player. You came into wrestling. You got a good 5-6 year run. Thank you very much for your service. Life after wrestling.
That's a good point. All right. Mickie James. Mickie James, obviously, it was her second run in WWE. She did some matches with, in NXT, and then she was on the main roster, but she has now also been released.
Mickie James has had an illustrious career. She is a former world champion. She has gone above and beyond to do her job to the best of her capabilities. Congratulations, and I mean that sincerely, from a worker's standpoint, because you did your accomplishments. You might have had some ups and downs, but you kept your head up. You kept on going forward. You have a beautiful singing career. You have a wonderful family. You have a nice husband, some kids. Go enjoy life.
And then, of course, Samoa Joe got released. Now, he was just on the WrestleMania announce team both nights. Now, if he was often injured, obviously, I don't know how many concussions he had, but I find that interesting, and I want your take on that. They finally let him go. I feel if he was getting wrestler pay, maybe they tried to restructure him into an announcer deal, and they just couldn't come to an agreement. But he is now gone from WWE. A lot of people are clamoring AEW, AEW. So what's your take on Joe?
Guys, every time he was about to go and do something, he got injured. He wasn't a main eventer. He was a little bit less. He was capable. Could he have been in better shape? Obviously, yes. Could he have been more protective of the guys he was working with? Obviously, yes. For his promos and some of the stuff he did, hey, he wasn't the A player that everybody projected him to be. He was a B player. His announcing career was very good. Now, if it was a matter of wrestler pay versus announcer pay, you're announcing once a week. Everybody's on part-time schedule. You're announcing once a week. If you're making six figures, announcing once a week, what is wrong with that job? Nobody is going to pay you that money to sit on your ass and be an announcer.
That's kind of what I was thinking with that, Vito, if that was indeed the case.
And I have nothing against Samoa Joe. You know, anytime he was doing stuff, he did some good programs. He did some shitty programs. But at the end of the day, he's a wrestler. So you take the best of both worlds. But
you think he'll land in AEW, go over to New Japan?
I don't think he'll land in AEW. I think he goes back to Impact because he has history there. And they don't have that many A-tier players.
What about Ring of Honor, or do they just not have enough money for some of these wrestlers?
I think he'll do a combo thing and do AEW. Impact and Ring of Honor.
The other releases were throwaways, in my opinion. I don't know if you have any comments, but I will read them to you. Chelsea Green, who is Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona's fiance.
That's something, you know what? She never really got.
She never got out of NXT.
Right. And once, her man left, it kind of left her in a lurch. And then for him to say some things about WWE, and it's always tough. The significant other gets it. She got it. Hopefully she winds up with a job. She's a very pretty girl. I think she has some wrestling skills. She could do something in the business. She has time.
Yep, noted. And then Tucker, who was Otis's tag team partner in Heavy Machinery, Wesley Blake, and Kalisto rounded out this year's spring cleaning.
Kalisto have a good run. He was there longer than I thought he would be. How long was he there? 5-6 years?
At least, yeah. He was there for a bit.
So 5-6 years at, just to say, I'm not predicting anybody's salary. 5 years at $100,000 is $500,000. You're not making that in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay. The Heavy Machinery kid. Sometimes you just need a partner, and you're not good enough to carry the ball by yourself. Otis.
No, Otis did not get released, but he's still there. But remember, they took the Money in the Bank off of him, so that showed you what they thought about him.
Exactly. And guys, it's only a matter of time. But as it is, we are ready for the main event. What does Vito think?
Well, no, before that. So this is a co-main event. Mike Tyson had a heck of a punch on Dynamite this past week to the FTR guy. I think it was Cash Wheeler at the end. And, of course, he's an official member now of the Inner Circle. So did you check that punch forearm? What did you think? I like Mike Tyson. Then he did that little kick to him, that little jab with his foot at the end. Ratings, no competition from NXT. Dynamite did 1.2 million, and Mike Tyson punched a wrestler on the show. Coincidence? What are you thinking here?
Remember, we said there was 1.6 million to be had. Split it in half. AEW 800, NXT 700, right? Mike Tyson on the show gives you a couple extra. So I think they go back down to 800,000. I don't think they crack a million again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because I want to see if this is sustainable. Even NXT that first week against nobody on Tuesday night did like 820. So clearly, there's some overlap there. But I feel if you take the difference from those two shows, Vito, 1.2 million minus 800,000, that difference of 400,000, those are your people that only watch Dynamite. Like you said, there is a diehard fan base of 1.5 million people, and I can't see Dynamite doing any better than what it just did. Do I hope it does? Sure, but I mean they're going to have some good stuff. Look what happened. Yeah,
didn't Sting draw a million on his first night?
No, it was like he might have, but I thought it was like high nines. But
I think he cracked a million.
Match drew 1.4 million just for that match, but then the rest of the show tanked. So the spikes are usually tied to celebrities.
So what does that tell you? It's a celebrity kind of thing. People will watch if somebody's importance on, but if they got nobody on.
But yeah, Mike Tyson, I did love that punch, man. My dad popped for it when he saw it.
But you know what? But that's what he should be doing. I say this time and time again. He's got to do what he does. If he doesn't do that, he won't get over because people want to see him in action. Not this fake pity-patty bullshit.
Keep him involved in the show versus sitting him in a chair in the corner. Remember where he was falling asleep because the wrestling product is so boring? So I did enjoy that. For everybody that says I knock AEW all the time, I enjoyed this whole Inner Circle Mike Tyson versus the Pinnacle feud, and I'm interested to see where it's going. Okay, Vito, now it's main event time. What's on Big Vito's mind? I know there's got to be something out there.
Guys, I have to say this. John Laurinaitis got hired back by the WWE. They ran out of fall guys, like I said. John Laurinaitis, after WrestleMania, is like Christmas to him. He hands out gifts. He hands out future endeavors. It's his favorite time. He loves being that scumbag to people. He makes the phone calls because he's a snickering, gibbering, jot-sniffing son of a bitch who just sits there like a stooge and licks Vince's ass.
Hell of a take.
It's a good state. But they needed another fall guy because Heyman and Pritchard and Bischoff
already fell. Well, Pritchard hasn't yet, but yes, Heyman and Bischoff already fell. They got Heyman doing the Roman thing on TV, just gawking at Roman in the title belt, like with the big googly eyes. Like Vince Russo's right. Paul Heyman has become a live-action cartoon character.
Yeah, but you know what? It's obvious because as soon as Brock comes back, Roman is going to be dropped like a hot fucking potato.
You think so? I'm interested to see what they do.
There is no way Paul Heyman's loyalties are to Brock Lesnar. Make no mistake, that's the bread and butter. That's the longevity, okay? And they are going to have to come up with something to counter. They're talking The Rock and Brock Lesnar. I'm going to say it here on Getting Color. What's to happen? Brock Lesnar comes back. Paul Heyman jumps ship. What's to happen if Roman Reigns is managed by The Rock?
Oh, interesting. If Heyman jumps ship back to Brock, there you go. You heard it right here first on Getting Color, folks. That's all I got for this week, man.
Awesome. We got 30 minutes. Noelle is away. She's living the life in other country clubs, courtesy of the BIGV from the LOG and Getting Color and Goomba Sauce. So, Virtue, why don't you close it? Whips and chains. You know the deal.
You can follow Vito on Twitter at the Big Vito Brand. Go to his Patreon. I believe it's patreon.com/the Big Vito Brand. You can follow me on Twitter if you'd like at NoDQ_Virtue. Hey, and go over there and troll Aaron Rift, the whipped one, at Aaron Rift over on Twitter, and tell him to get his act together and to do a No DQ review reunion with Vito, myself and him for once. But
That would
that's
be
it.
awesome. That would be awesome. And of course, with Caitlin working as a moderator to make
Yes.
sure there's no trolls. I like it.
There you go, folks. This has been Getting Color right here on the BigVitoBrand.com. For Big Vito LaGrasso, I am Virtue. Guess what? We'll see you next time. Later.
Peace.